How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Well, this is FPS Flag bringing you a very important video that I feel like that people should know and what to do here, because this is a different game that some people play and they don't quite understand how the concept of the game works. So this is Insurgency Sandstorm on console, so we are actually playing on the Xbox Series S. So just to let you know, sorry it's so quiet. I had my camera, and my camera was in a case, and the case kind of mutes out the voices. So anyways, so this is just you can call it an insurgency info tip, or you can call it a beginner tip, or you can call it help, whatever you want to call it. So anyways, this is Insurgency Sandstorm. So it's a tactical FPS shooter, and a lot of people don't realize that. People play it like it's Call of Duty, which it's definitely not. Anyways, so just enjoy the video and enjoy these tips that I'm going to give you, because I think it'll help you in the long run on this game. So just stand by for a little bit, and I will let you know. So right now, this is going to be tip number 1. This is not your typical FPS shooter, as I said on the little intro, that it is a tactical FPS shooter. It's nothing like COD, it's nothing like Battlefield, it's nothing like that at all. So yeah, that's tip number 1, not your typical FPS shooter. Tip number 2 is communication. Communication is key on this game. It's tactical. This is, by the way, PVE gameplay, so this is cooperative on here, not PvP. We'll go on more in depth with PvP a little later. And this is and we're on Tell, which is a tier 3 map, which I do these maps by tiers. Tier 3 means the hardest, tier 2 is medium, and tier 1 is the easiest. Anyway, so this is a tier 3 map, so we actually end up failing this mission. But anyways, so tip number 2 is communication. It's key through the whole game. So you want to communicate with your teammates. You want to make sure you're doing call-outs by hitting LT. Yeah, LT. All right, let me check. LT is to call out, to call out hostile contact in that area. Hang on. LB is to do contact. So if you see a hostile, you hit LB on your controller on Xbox. On PlayStation, it'd be R or L1. Excuse me, it'd be L1. PlayStation. Oh, yeah. So that's just to call out hostiles and stuff like that. Tip number 3 is the NPCs are very difficult on this game. They are not easy at all. It's no walk in the park. It ain't no cakewalk. You have to be smart. You have to be observant. You have to know what to expect. Well, you actually don't know what to expect, but you gotta know what kind of the idea of what's going on with the game and how the NPCs are going to react and stuff like that. Next thing is cover. You want to use as much cover as possible. You want to make sure your head is covered up, or else you'll die. I mean, it's the NPCs on here have you name it, aimbot, freaking they're overpowered. Basically. The NPCs are overpowered. So I mean, if there's smoke and in front of you, NPCs can walk. A bunch of NPCs will walk in there and dome you in the head because they have aimbot and wall hack, whatever you want to call it, because that's just how it is. That's why the NPCs are very difficult. It's an important one. So there's 8 people on the team, and it's important to have flashbangs. At least some of you have flashbangs. Here's tip number 6, which is a huge one. There is no aim assist on this game. No aim assist whatsoever. So on PvE and PvP, there's no aim assist. So when you try to aim for an NPC, you got to be dead on. You got an NPC or other player, you got to be dead on with the shots, or dead on with your crosshair, or else you won't kill them, because there's no aim assist on this game at all. Use the canting system about 75% of the time. So basically, lean system, whatever you want to call it, leaning mechanic, tilt, whatever you want to call it. I said canting system, so you can't to the right, can't to the left, around the corner or something like that. So you want to use that system a lot. Have a good commander. You want to have a good commander. You want to have the commander have a mic. You want to know what he's doing. You want to make sure he knows tactics and best way to approach an objective, whatever it may be. And so yeah, you want a good commander. I mean, I'm decent with commanding, but I mean, a lot of people don't run commander, so I don't really run commander myself. But it's just one thing. I mean, I'll do run commander if there's an observer. If I don't have an observer, then I won't run commander. But other than that, if I have an observer, yes, I'm gonna run commander. And you gotta know tactics and stuff like that. It's just a smart. You want to make sure that you're calling out, tangos where they're at, second floor, balcony, third floor, whatever it may be. That's where the communication comes in key. So yeah, so you want to have a good commander. Don't run around like Battlefield campaign or COD campaign because it's not worth it. Running around, sprinting around corners and shit like that, you'll die instantly because the NPCs are, like I said, super overpowered on here, and they're very, very difficult in many ways. So yeah, don't run around like COD or campaign or Battlefield campaign. Don't hip fire unless you have the laser attachment on your gun, which is a side rail attachment on here. There's no reason to hip fire unless you're like your barrel's kissing the enemy or something like that. Then you can hip fire, I guess. But yeah, no, don't hip fire on this game. It ain't worth it. Another one is don't melee. Melee is totally useless on this game because it don't do anything. Always check buildings and corners. So if you come across an open building, you want to check that building, even though it's not the objective, but you want to check that building because NPCs can go in there and without sitting there and come up behind you and kill you. So yeah, always check buildings and corners. Super important. Yeah, super important to check your corners. And every building that you come across because yeah, it's just super important. Next one is tip number 12, which is watch for snipers and prone NPCs. So you'll see snipers on here, you name it, prone NPCs, they'll lay prone right in front of you, you won't even see them, but you want to make sure you're observant to that. That's why you gotta be observant, you gotta make sure you're paying attention to that detail. And if you see an open building, no matter, like I said, this goes with check your corners and buildings, but if you see an open building that's not even the objective, go in that building anyways and search it, make sure it's clear, because you don't want to run outside the building and not kill anyone, or then you end up dying behind you because you didn't clear that building that was right next to the objective. So make sure you clear every building on this game. It's super important to watch your corners and stuff like that. This game is not your typical shooter. It's not made for everyone. Not made for everyone at all. So it's a difficult game. It ain't easy, not by any means. So just to let you know. So just be sure that you follow these tips, info, whatever you want to call it, and it would help you in the long run on this game, because this game is not an easy game to play. It is not an easy game at all. Anyways, so that brings the end to the video, but I gotta say thank you so much. We have over 120 subscribers, a little bit over 120 subscribers, which is awesome. Keep up the good work, keep up the likes, keep up the comments and stuff like that. I appreciate it. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a very brief, short video. I mean, you can stick around. I mean, I pretty much covered all the tips, but you can stick around if you want and watch it till the end. It's totally up to you. But anyways, just be sure you like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Just remember that this game is not made for everyone. It's very difficult, so we're just gonna go through it again. So, tip number 1, not your typical FPS. Tip number 2, communication. Communication is key on PVE and PvP. And 3, NPCs are very difficult. They are not no easy walk. There's not a cakewalk at all. Number 4, cover. Cover is very important. Make sure your head is covered, or else you're gonna die. Flashbangs, very important. So one thing I forgot to mention, if you're in a fire team, you got like 8 people on a team, you want to have some, if you have like come across a 2-story building, say, or a 3-story building, whatever you want, some to go on the 2nd floor, some to go on the 1st floor, and if it's a 3-story building, some on the 3rd floor, one with at least a flashbang, and you want to make sure you all are communicating with each other, because there's friendly fire on here. I mean, you can kill your teammates on here. I mean, it happens, and even with the diamond icon on their head, it still happens. You still get team killed. But yeah, so just remember that. So if you're in a building, you want to make sure if you're on a two-story building, you want some of your team to go up on the second floor, clear out the second floor, and you want the rest of your team to go on the bottom floor, first floor, and clear out the bottom floor and say on the mic, room or floor 1 clear, floor 2 clear, floor 3 clear, etc., etc. So just make sure you use the communication. It is very important on this game. Trust me, it is. Yeah, anyways, just recap. Cover, I already covered that. Flashbangs, very important. There is no aim assist, which is another important one. Important key. I want to highlight that or whatever. Use the canting system, the leaning over the side of a wall or something like that. The leaning system, the leaning mechanic, whatever you want to call it. Have a good commander. Don't run around like COD campaign, Battlefield campaign, because it's just useless. It's totally useless. Don't hit fire unless you have the laser attachment. Always check the buildings and corners. Can't stress that enough, because it is CQB based game mode, so you want to check the corners and buildings and stuff like that. Watch for snipers and prone NPCs. I happen to die a lot from the prone NPCs, super annoying. But and then if you see an open building, make sure you clear it out, because it's important to clear it out. Anyway, so like I said, that's the end of the video. Thanks again for all the support that you guys have been giving me on my YouTube channel. I appreciate it. And I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope this helps you out to understand the game a little better, that it's not your typical shooter. You got to be smart. You got to make sure you are familiar with the stuff. Because like I said, this is, and we'll go more into maps details later in a later video. Right now, like I said, this is Tell, which is a tier 3 map, in my opinion, which means very difficult. So yeah, anyways, so thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all on the next one, which will be covering some maps, not all of them, because I don't think I played all of them, but some of the maps that I know I played, I can let you know on that one. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace out. One more thing on here is that there is a suppression system. So once your screen gets all blurry, then you're being suppressed. So just to let you know, there is a suppressing system on this game. Your screen gets blurry, you can't really move. Just another little tidbit right there. So yeah, there's a suppression system on here. So if you're being suppressed by an enemy, you won't be able to move. Just to let you know, there's a suppression system.